Hello and welcome. I'm Bob Lichter, and I will be interviewing individuals for Kenosha Voices, an oral history project for the Kenosha County Historical Society in conjunction with Kenosha Community Media. I am a member of the Kenosha History Center and have volunteered there since 2015. We hope that you will enjoy these programs. I'm with Bern Gross, a former and retired employee of American Motors Corporation. Hello, Bern, and welcome.
Thank you.
When did you start working at American Motors?
In the drop forge in 1959.
1959. What was the hiring process like? Did you have to go in an office?
Yeah, you had to wait in line. There were so many people. And then they put you to the department they wanted you in.
Okay. What department did you start in?
806.
806.
That was the drop forge.
Drop forge. And what type of work did you do in there?
I was picking up steel blocks and separating them and putting them on skids to take over to the hammers and heaters. And
what type of parts were you making then?
Oh, I wasn't making parts. I was just loading, fixing up the skids. Mm-hmm. And the longer you worked there, the more you could get, better job.
Okay. And in that drop forge, were they making gears or?
Oh, they were making gears, front end parts. Like underneath the front end, the alligators they call them, and different parts like that, little parts.
Okay. What was your starting wage in 1959?
$2.65.
$2.65.
Yep.
That was pretty good money back then.
Back then, yeah.
Okay. And that was a union shop, right?
Right.
American Motors.
Yeah, that was a brotherhood of something, I don't know, iron shipbuilders and stuff like that.
Several unions, the United Auto Workers, Local 72.
Drop forge workers.
Drop forge. Then the Shipbuilders Union, was that part of Drop Forge?
The what?
Shipbuilders?
Shipbuilders,
okay.
Iron shipbuilders.
Okay. When you started, what type of training was there?
Well, they take you out to the job and tell you to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, they didn't take no skills for that.
Okay. Was there any safety training or safety equipment?
Oh, yeah, you were supposed to wear safety shoes, and they give you gloves, and so whatever you needed for the job.
Okay. What was a typical day like there?
Oh,
in the drop forge?
Going to work.
Yeah.
And change clothes. You had a locker room, and they give you your gloves you use because you wore out a pair a week. And so that's about it. And we always bought our clothes. We'd buy them from some guy, get them in Milwaukee at a used clothing shop,
okay.
Like for filling stations and stuff like that.
Okay. What was very hot in that drop forge? Was it in the summertime?
Oh yeah, it was hot. Yeah, cold in the winter.
Okay.
The tong bucket would be froze over in the morning. When it was really cold. They never really had any heat in there because the furnaces heated it.
Mm-hmm. And at some point, you worked in a drop forge for how long?
10 years.
Then you went into the skilled trades program,
correct?
Skilled
trade, yeah.
And which skilled trade?
Machine repair.
Machine repair. And American Motors, they had quite a comprehensive skilled trade program, right? Different carpenters, electricians.
Yeah, they had, I don't know how many.
Yeah, so it was a nice opportunity for people to go into that. So
when I went in there, I was you had to take a test. I was 4th on the list, and they were taking 4. So
Okay. And then that was an apprenticeship then, correct? So,
yeah,
and how you had to have your work documented so many hours?
yeah, we had every time you run a lathe or a mill or whatever, you had to write it down on a sheet of paper and keep that till the end of the week, and then you handed it to the union.
Okay.
And they kept your hours. You had to have like 600 hours on the lathe and so many hours on the mill and
Okay.
so many hours working out in the areas, and yeah, for 4 years you had to be pretty good, you know, keeping track of things.
Okay. Then there was some classroom schooling too, correct?
Yeah, that was school was 8 hours once a week during the school year. It wasn't in the summer either. It was, you know, like a school year, an 8-hour day. And it was all different kinds of things.
Like
Blueprint reading. Oh, there was other stuff, you know.
yeah, and that was at
And
the
hard to remember 60 years ago.
sure. And that was at the Kenosha Technical Institute at that time, down on 52nd
Yeah.
Street. Okay.
Yeah, no, I was out on 30th Avenue.
Okay. Okay. Are you originally from Kenosha
Yeah, Kenosha,
area?
Kenosha County,
Kenosha County.
just west of Maple Crest.
So didn't you do some work at Maple Crest at some?
Yeah, I worked for Maple Crest for a while.
Okay.
Then I went to Kenosha Country Club. And from there, I went into American Motors.
When you were in the skilled trades and the machine repair, what were some of the jobs you got called on?
Oh, there's a lot of them. There's so much to a machine that, you know, you had to do anything. You had to line up busted bolts. You had to take out a lot of stuff you had to do. It's hard to say.
Okay, that could be an air compressor or.
Yeah, I worked on air compressor the last 4 or 5 years. And you had to grind valves for them and do a lot of stuff on them. So
Okay.
it was good work.
So some days you would come in. What was that like? Did you walk to work or drive to work or?
I drove to work.
Okay.
I lived on KR at the time, and I would drive to work. I'd pick up a guy on KR, and we'd ride together.
In a typical day, you would go in. Did you have to punch a time clock?
Yeah, I'd punch a time clock, read the paper, get your job, you know.
So you get a work assignment every day? Is that what?
Yeah, that more or less, yeah.
Okay.
You could have more than one job a day. You finish a job, you go back to the area or where you were and get assigned another one.
And being that most of your career there were the two separate plants, the main plant and the lakefront,
Yeah.
you may have had to work in each plant?
I worked in both of them.
Okay.
Not much at the lakefront, but I worked a couple of months there. I worked there in experimental. I went once in a while. And you had to line up stuff or line up dynamometers or, you know, whatever.
Was anything, you know, technology-wise changed your job, like new machines or new ways of doing things?
Oh, it changed an awful lot, especially machining now. They got a lot of CNC machines, done a lot of duplicating machines, you know, duplicating parts. They're so fast, and it used to take you forever to do them. Now they're just punched out, you know.
With your work group, did you make a lot of friends at work, or? be social with anybody?
Yeah, it was a good bunch of guys. We had a lot of fun.
Okay. Well, you had really a family tradition at American Motors, correct? Your father and...
Right. Yeah, my father and my daughter worked there also. So.
Okay. And
some uncles and my grandpa. And
and your brothers and...
brothers and...
You and your...
You name it.
You and your brothers were all in the skilled trade.
Yeah, all in the skilled trades. And I got another brother that ain't on there. He's in the skilled trade too. He took an apprenticeship there also. So.
Okay. Was it all in the machine repair? Or?
All in, yeah. One was hydraulics, but they combined the two. So he was in with a machine repair too.
Okay. All right. What was the relationship like between the workers and the management?
I would say it was pretty good.
Okay.
Good as possible.
Any stories, like any personal stories you want to share?
Well, no, not really, but...
Okay. All right. What was the best thing about working at American Motors?
Retiring.
Retiring. Well, that was something you had to, because you could retire after a certain number of years, right?
Right. I had 30 years and 1 month.
30 years and 1 month. Okay. And when you worked from 1959 to 1989, auto production stopped in November of 1988. What was that like, knowing that you were at the end of your career and wondering what was going to happen?
Yeah, you wonder what was going to happen. But everybody was wondering. So, good things come. It lasted a lot longer than that, you know.
Because there were many changes when you were there too, like in the early 1980s when Renault came in.
Yeah, how many come in there? French come in there, and you know, all different companies come in there. You were wondering what the heck's going on. Chrysler come. We thought that was a good thing, but it was really good for them because it lasted a little longer then.
So with auto production ending in 1988, did you work for the last year? Did you work in the engine plant, or what was left there?
I still worked in the tool room. And I don't know what they did with the engines. You know, sometimes you hear rumors that the four-cylinder engine was going to China, but I don't know for sure where it went.
Okay. Now you had some other hobbies too outside of work, right? You did
when I was a kid.
Some drag racing, right?
Yeah. Drag racing and racing on the roads and whatever we could do.
The Great Lakes Dragway opened in 1956. You were out there.
I didn't go out there till about 57 or 58. So.
Okay. And you had a record out there too, didn't you?
Yeah, I had a record, 73 miles an hour. Nowadays, the pedal cars go faster than that.
Yeah. But that wasn't a Rambler, though, was it?
No, Oldsmobile.
Oh. Okay. What was the? Talked about the best thing. What about maybe the hardest thing or the toughest thing about working in the plant?
I don't know. It never seemed to be tough. It was never too much to handle, you know. It was a good place to work for.
Okay. It's been a long time.
Much as we complained, it was it was good.
Do you miss those days?
No, not a bit. Nope, I got out, I stayed out.
And what did you do after you retired then?
Oh, mostly farming. Small farming. Nothing big.
Okay. Okay. I want to thank you for participating in the Kenosha Voices program.
You're welcome.
On behalf of the Kenosha History Center and Kenosha Community Media. Thanks, Bern.